Hello.
You got all the assembled multitude here?
Good.
So how do you feel?
Good, I feel great.
You more than double.
I'm a double eagle.
No, you did 3 last time. You said you would do at least 6 this time. Did you mean you were going to double his total?
No, I meant I was going to win by more than 1 vote.
Oh, I see.
Right, that's what I meant.
Well, you succeeded.
Yeah. No,
So how did you do it? I mean, this guy. He came in late. Obviously, you've been campaigning a long time.
He didn't come in all that late. I mean, he's been around for a long time. This guy. He just spent He spent about $22 million in Connecticut so far. I mean, let's put this all in context. This is a guy who, by his own admission, has substantially greater name recognition than I do. But he is also a guy that I am prepared to debate the issues with. And that's how I did it here. And I went from place to place to place and talked about the differences. How dare somebody blow up the clean elections program? This is a guy, and it needs to be reported, this is a guy who said that he was for clean elections before he was against clean elections, but if you elect him, then he'll be for it again. I mean, that is...
right, but his argument is if it's Tom Foley on the other side, you can't disarm.
And toward that end, and you need to report this, what I also said is, let's just fight fairly through the primary. Now, we're both beating Mr. Foley. Mr. Foley's spending a lot of money. I got a prediction for you. Money can't buy you love.
So what do you think it was for the delegates then, if it wasn't money?
It was, I support paid sick leave. Ned Lamont does not. I support clean elections. Ned Lamont does not. I have a track record of accomplishment in government. Ned talks about running government like a business. Let me tell you that there's a lot of differences between government and business. We need a great government. That's what we need. And I'm prepared to lead that great government.
How do you feel about going into the primary and then the election in November?
You know how I feel? I am so lucky that I do not have to go back to a small room and raise money. Now listen, I can't do it the way other people do. I can't write my own check. I did it the way that it was intended to happen in the state of Connecticut. I raised that $250,000. I did it in small donations, 4,200 donors. And now we have the time and the resources necessary to get our message out. We have over $8.5 million to spend in the next 23 weeks. That's more than twice has been spent by any candidate for governor in a 23-week period. So we're ready for this.
Now, is there some provision for self-funders also that would give you even more if it's necessary?
Well, that's the maximum. That would be, and by the way, in preparation for this convention, Mr. Lamont has spent a lot of money, 700. Actually, some of the people with cameras might actually have the actual numbers, but we think he spent somewhere $700 million on TV. He spent a lot of money. So we're here.
So when are you going to go?
It's not about process. What this is about is issues, experience, the time necessary to get our message out, and to talk about the things that we've talked about. Let me tell you, he didn't move in the direction of universal pre-K. I did. He didn't lower crime by 64%. I did. He didn't create thousands of jobs. I didn't either. But my city did under my leadership. So there are these very big differences between somebody who talks about government and somebody who's done government. Somebody who believes in campaign finance reform yesterday, today, and tomorrow, as opposed to somebody who believed it yesterday, not so much now, and then he'll believe it after you elect them. Listen, if people are going to cut that bargain, they deserve what they
When do you start mass media? When do you start mass media for the primary?
Well, can you help me edit some stuff?
What are you going to do?
Where is the line between drawing sharp distinctions between you and Lamont?
I've got
not blowing up the party in the course of perhaps winning a primary and having
70% of voters in Connecticut support campaign finance reform. That's been shown in polls that you've reported. Now that is a distinction between Ned Lamont and myself. And he can make his argument about not fighting this battle with his arm tied behind. I gave him away out. I said simply live with it through the primary. What's he afraid of? What was he afraid of that he had to do what he's done? That he had to blow up a system that he has said he supported?
Dean, what do you think are going to be the top issues you're really going to hammer on for the primary? Will they be different from the general?
Experience. I don't talk about building an economy. I've done it. I don't talk about school reform. I've done it. I don't talk about affordable housing. I've done it. Talk is cheap, as has this discussion about campaign finance reform been cheap.
If everybody and his brother wants to be an outsider in November, are you going to then have to go into a general election trying to reverse from it?
Who's an outsider? A guy who has political machines in numerous communities, who has obviously done whatever he needed to do to get that backing. Who's the outsider here? I have never served in Hartford. I'm going to Hartford to change it. Let it be very clear. I wear it as a bit of a badge of honor.
So you're arguing both that you have this much experience in government, you know how to do it, and you're also an outsider.
I've done it on a scale that no other candidate running for governor has done it on. A city with 120,000 people. But actually, you couldn't be further away from Hartford than Stamford, except if you were a millionaire living in Greenwich.
How much do you think your choice of Nancy Wyman helped you today?
Listen, Nancy's just the greatest. I mean, you like her.
Did it help you with delegates in your race?
It certainly helped us in Tallinn.
Mayor, what's between you and the Bridgeport delegation? How come they don't like you?
I think they do like me. I think actually if you went up and down and asked the rank and file whether they like me, they'd tell you they do. And in fact, you probably had that conversation with one or two.
What's between you and Mario, it's like over a casino from 1995?
Apparently, and it's been reported on, apparently they like Mr. Lamont's take on casinos. He has said that he believes that casinos are the answer to Bridgeport's problems. I don't believe that, quite frankly. He wants to bring casinos to Bridgeport. I said I had an open mind. He made a promise. Let's see whether he can deliver.
He publicly denies making that promise.
How did they vote? Anybody else? Hey.
How are you going to just?
How did they vote? How did they vote? And then go up and down and talk to some of the people.
How are you going to distinguish yourself in the general election versus the Republicans?
Listen, we have a message. We have a track record. It's the same. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. We have the resources necessary to win. I don't have to be cooped up in a room dialing for dollars. We're not taking people's big contributions. I mean, this is also another interesting fact. Mr. Lamont is writing his own check and then raising money at $3,500 a crack. It's a listen. Let's go back to this reform thing. He was for it before he was against it, but he'll be for it again after he spends millions of dollars of his own money and collects checks at $3,500 a crack. That's quite a take on reform.
Well, he's getting a lot of his support from people who think that you need a Democrat writing checks to combat tomfoolery in November.
We have got to, as a party, we've got to be better than that. We have absolutely got to be better than the concept that whoever has the bigger checkbook wins, because probably we don't have the bigger checkbook one way or the other. But we have better ideas. We have better experience. We're Democrats. We have a great plurality. What we need is a candidate who will appeal to independent voters. I'm that candidate.
Where are you in your own polling against Lamont? Where are you in your own polling?
Yeah, you know what? We're not doing polls right now. If we were doing polls right now with a guy who's been on TV with $1 million, we probably would be behind. But I'm not so sure.
How do you feel, Dan? How do you feel confidence-wise this time around compared to 4 years ago?
Well, as Mr. Keating frequently reminded us 4 years ago, when I won the convention, I was 30 points behind John DeStefano. And although I didn't win, and there were lots of people lined up against me, I came pretty darn close. Here I am, 4 years later, better known, better prepared as a candidate, with real defining issues between myself and Ned Lamont. Real defining issues. You know what? I enjoyed the debate I had with John DeStefano 4 years ago. This has been nothing like it. Nothing like it. These are phrases. These are words. These are turns of phrases. I'm ready for this fight.
So DeStefano was more of a substantial candidate than
he was at least as wonkish as I am.
Are you once again the convention winner, now running against the favorite in the primary?
Probably. But you know what? We're going to win. I mean, listen, I don't. You know what's the difference is? When I won this convention 4 years ago, they immediately marched me out. Actually, it was a day later, and put me in a box and made me call and raise money, because that's how we had to get our message out. I don't have to do that anymore. On June 2nd, we get $2.5 million. That's enough to get our message out.
How are you going to win against independents? How are you going to win independents?
How am I going to win independents? With a track record of having done it in the past, with an experience level unmatched by any candidate for governor in either party, with clean crisp statements about wanting people who are sick to be able to take time off from work, as opposed to listen, I would hope we'd avoid a primary, but whatever. Or my clean elections position. Very different. We'll have many other distinctions that we'll draw. Thank you. Thank you very much. Great to be with you.